Pink Label and why I chose to create Pink Label premium ritual work and mentoring for women. So, we do not have healthy feminine role models in society. Femininity has been very distorted, very abandoned, and very twisted to the point that most women, they have no guidelines of what it is to be a woman. What does it mean to be a healthy woman, not just a woman? Our societal role models are predominantly women who there are two types of women, especially in Western society. There's going to be women who just behave like men. They predominantly enjoy being like a man, or they're very overtly sexualized, very porn star, very stripper, very escort. I don't have an issue with either because things are so far gone that there is no balance between both. So for Pink Label, I really created Pink Label, again, just as Black Label, a very selfish creation, but I also used Pink Label as me, myself, as the guinea pig for it. So Pink Label is essentially for women who they know that they're different to most women. And a lot of women would like to fancy themselves as, oh, I'm very different to a lot of women, I'm this, I'm that. There comes with Pink Label a strength and a core of character that's very unmistakable. Now that strength and core of character can often result women to behave like men. I know it, I've done it, I've experienced it, I've lived it, so there is no pointing fingers at anybody for it. That's the thing. A lot of the time when you have a lot of grit, a lot of resilience, a lot of strength, intelligence as a woman, you have to be very extra with your femininity. A lot of women don't like hearing that because it offsets that aggression, basically. If a woman is very driven, she's got a lot of grit, and so on and so forth, it's gonna feel very intimidating to people. I am not here to talk about these women who want to slay their careers. I want to be a boss bitch, a boss babe. Spartanite does not we don't endorse that. Anybody that comes and asks me these questions, I don't endorse that. Through my own volition, through my own experience, a lady can be very successful, but she can be very intelligent, and she can have no nonsense boundaries. She can put a man in his place when he tries bullshit, because your man always will. And she can also be very, very successful at what she does in being gentle, sweet, kind. A lot of people have this situation twisted. Is something that I explain to women in Pink Label is being a feminine woman does not mean that you are a doormat. It does not mean that you don't stand up for yourself. It means that in the way you're going to present yourself standing up for yourself is almost very cheeky and annoying. It's got a hee energy, but you're still checking somebody. Now you might, if you're a woman who works for yourself, or you work in something that's quite high-powered and very aggressive, it may not always be possible. For example, there are women that can come to me and, over a period of time, perhaps they've had a very demanding career, or their business has been very demanding, or so on and so forth. Maybe they've been a single mother, they've had to take care of a lot of children. It can put women into that go, pushy, defensive, crazy energy, whereby even the body, a lot of women don't listen to their body, but even the body has given up. The body's like, I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. I am sick of you trying to squeeze me into these pants or this skirt that is a size smaller. I'm on my period. I don't want to move. I don't want to do anything. The body talks. You have to listen to her. Pink Label for me was an endeavor to show women, to teach women who have not really had a lot of training when it comes to femininity. I certainly did not have any training, and I had to spend many years of my life teaching myself things and getting help in the necessary areas so that I felt that I could present myself in a more feminine fashion. Presenting myself in a more feminine fashion did not mean that I was fake, I was bitchy, that I suddenly gave up my intelligence, I gave up what I had achieved. You don't have to, I tell women, you don't have to give up anything. In fact, it made me more successful at Spartanite. It helped me serve men and women better because I was able to hold that polarity. Essentially, with Pink Label, a lot of women have this very warped and twisted understanding of what femininity is. What is femininity? And I want to do this, I want to do that. So Just as I gave those examples in the beginning, you've got the woman who's very much like a man, and then you've got a woman who's basically like a doormat, essentially, or you've got a woman who's like a porn star or a stripper or something. And there is no real healthy sense of what femininity is. And Pink Label really covers that for a lot of women. It covers what it is to look after yourself, to have self-care, to have non-negotiable boundaries, how to deal with men, how to deal with yourself, how to deal with your family and friends, how to deal with situations that are not healthy, they're dysfunctional, they're abusive, how to stand up for yourself. All the things that as women we should be taught from when we are very young by our older sisters, by our mothers, but most of them do not know anything. One of the key things in Pink Label was also teaching about sexuality and seduction for me, because so many women are ashamed of it. So many women are like, oh, it's dirty, I don't know what I'm doing. And there is this prevalent myth with women, and they'll look at sexualized women, and the way sex is packaged to a lot of people in society is very cheap, nasty and dirty. So there is no wholesomeness, there is no mystique, there is no femininity or like that enticing, alluring energy. It's just straight out nasty and dirty. So women have this understanding that when they're obviously looking at these women, they're like, oh, I don't want to look cheap and dirty, or I don't want this. And then let's add, so many women are survivors of sexual trauma, of sexual abuse, of rape, of molestation, of unwanted advances. All of that will block your sexuality, and it takes a long time to actually start pulling those energies out of yourself, feeling safe, step by step by step by step, to allow that to start to come out. And then creating boundaries around that as well, that I don't feel safe with this guy, I don't want to be around him, I don't feel safe with this family member, I don't like this, I don't like that. It's exploring the jewels that lie within. And for me, Pink Label was very much the essence of femininity. It has very strong elements of Black Label. I'm not just talking about dolling up, doing your makeup and having perfect eyebrows all day. We're talking about very real experiences. Pink Label also covers money education. So a lot of women are trapped with abusive families, abusive men, abusive situations, abusive living situations, because they don't know how to work and stand up for themselves. They don't know how to have the confidence to be able to leave a situation and look after themselves if things go wrong. So Pink Label covers a lot of things, but what it predominantly covers is how to be a whole, well-rounded woman. A woman that's at peace with herself, she's calm, but if things really go left, she knows how to bring out the big guns. So essentially, people have always asked me, how is Pink Label different to like other dark femininity mentoring programs? Plain and simple, sorcery. I channel spirit, I channel different types of spirits. I will do a lot of beauty magic, restoration magic, shape-shifting magic. It will make you look a certain way, be a certain way. No side effects, nothing that you really need to worry about. Obviously in Black Label, I do that all for men. I carve out all their masculinity and bring it to the surface. With women, it's the same thing. I give you this very spicy charm, this seduction. Even if you're a woman that comes to me and thinks, I'm not really seductive, I'm not this, I'm not that, it's okay, because inside every woman does live that woman, and it's something that women need to be taught to look after themselves, because we're not taught in society. We are taught as women to be maids and slaves, to give ourselves away, especially for a man. Abandon yourself for a man, abandon yourself for a family, now you're married, must abandon everything. My cultures, they tell you to abandon your whole life for a man and be a maid and a slave and please him, and be a maid and a slave to your kids, and then get abused by him, all his family, and then you die. That's basically the cycle. A lot of people are very offended when I talk about that cycle, but that's just life. So the point I try and make with Pink Label is very much an essence of work on your femininity, and know that femininity is not like this fake facade, because femininity is not a costume for women. It's not something you wear and you're like, wah, ta-da, voila. C'est femme. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to work on the inside, and a large part for modern women of today is letting go of their egos. So if Pink Label really speaks to you, you want to know more about Pink Label, I'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly at support@thespartanite.com, or just drop us a DM and I'd love to go through it with you.